Watching sports is fun. Watching football is fun, but it's more entertaining when you got a little action on the games. Guys, you have heard me talking about this for weeks, and some of you are still on the sidelines. I don't know what you're waiting for, whether you're an expert or a rookie. You should be betting at MyBookie. If you're the kind of guy that likes to bet a little and win a lot, playing the numbers on roulette, you can create a big parlay, pick 3 teams to win, and if you hit all 3, you'll turn $100 into $600 at mybookie.ag. And it's not just football. You can bet on all major sports. Take MMA this weekend. Conor McGregor steps into the octagon Saturday for his first UFC fight in 2 years. You can bet on things like whether he'll win straight up or whether Khabib will deliver a first-round KO. You could bet on everything. If you're on the sideline, right now is the time to get in the game. MyBookie will match your first deposit dollar for dollar. But you got to join now because they will be pulling that offer. Log on to MyBookie right now and double your money. Use the promo code Rapaport. RAPAPORT, and you'll get your first deposit matched 100%. You play, you win, you get paid at mybookie.ag. All right, this is the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, jumping right into all the craziness that is going on a brand new smacker I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. So much going on, so much to talk about. Today we're doing Sick Fucks of the Week. The other day on a banger. Listen, we have premium podcasting, and the other day me and the young shooter were driving in his car around Los Angeles after I came from doing an interview for my Netflix TV show, Atypical, which is on Netflix. You. I was at TMZ, where little Harvey Levin is probably the biggest fan of the show ever. They asked and asked and asked. I went down there, but that's not what I'm talking about that. Because on the last podcast, the last premium primetime podcast, me and the young shooter discussed all that and so much more. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But we have premium podcasts. We have primetime podcasts. We have emergency podcasts that we drop on the app. And the other one, the other day, is definitely one of our best. But I was down at TMZ, and I have to say those people were very nice. Little fucking Harvey Levin was extremely nice. A lot of times when you meet these people in real life, it's a different situation. So they were really cool. Talked to him about Trump. Talked to him about Kanye. Talked to him about Atypical. Talked to him about a couple of things. The fucking shooter actually interrupted our interview on live television to give me water for some fucking reason. I don't think he knew it was live. It's a weird setup, but it's a nice setup. Oh, I remember why I even brought up the fucking shooter, Dean Collins. Because on the last premium I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast, I mentioned that I was going to be doing my favorite hip-hop songs, 20 of the best, my favorite 20 of 2018. And I got to say, it's been a very good year. It has been a very good year for hip-hop. I talk a lot of shit. I have a lot of opinions about a lot of things. But when I was going through this list and trying to make it diligent and not repetitive, because, you know, there's a couple of artists like Eminem, Pusha T, where you could start like, well, there's 2 bangers on this record, 2 bangers on, and then there's, 8 records from 4 artists. So I tried to really, really spread it out and make it as eclectic, but my favorite songs of 2018, fuck it, I'll just jump right into that, because I said I was going to do it on the last podcast, and I'll do that. So here, right now, we're jumping right into it, is my favorite songs of 2018, which I have up on Spotify, and I'm going to put up on Apple. And we'll post both those links, make it easy as possible. Put it on Spotify, and Apple Music. I don't know what people use to listen to their music. This is in no particular order. These are my favorite 20 favorite songs of 2018 so far. I'm sure I left a few out, but this is my fucking list. And I didn't fact check my list. I made the list in about 5 minutes. I didn't fact check it. I just went through the list, and here it goes. Black Thought, the song 215. Nas off the Nasir record, produced by fucking Kanye West. Everything. Pusha T, also produced by Kanye West. The Games We Play. J. Cole off the Album of the Year Freestyle. New Banger by Brooklyn's own Smith & Wesson. Let It Go, produced by Ninth Wonder. Another new song by Brooklyn's own Master Ace from Brownsville. Howard Projects. He put out a song called Brooklyn. It's spelled Breukelen, but it comes out the same way as Brooklyn. Master Ace and Marco Polo Beats, featuring also Smith & Wesson. Metal with the Metal by Czarface and MF Doom, banger. Warm Hennessy by Rock Marciano. Nicki Minaj's Barbie Dreams, I love that shit. It's a remake of Biggie Smalls' joint. Flirt by P-Rhyme. P-Rhyme is Royce the 5'9" and Premier. That's their second record, P-Rhyme 2. Car Confessions by Young M.A., friend of the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I love the way she rhymes, love her flow. The Brian Song by Sean Price, featuring Illa G. That banger off of the Lil Wayne record, Uproar. Band of Gypsies, I fucking love this vintage Cypress Hill. Band of Gypsies. Chicago Nights by my man Illa G. Brooklyn MC. Eminem's Fall. That's my favorite song on that Kamikaze record. I wanted to put about 3 or 4 on there because I love that fucking record. The only person to get 2 songs on the top 20 of 2018 so far, my guy Black Thought, Making of a Murderer, featuring Styles P. Smacker, banger. The beats are banging. My favorite song off the Nipsey Hussle Victory Lap record, Last Time I Checked. And Praise the Lord by A$AP Rocky, the Young Harlem Titans. That's my top 20. I am leaving this list public. I am leaving the opportunity, I don't know what it's called, but you can add to this list. You can change this list. It's 20 best of 2018 so far, created by Michael Rapaport. I'm only saying my name because that's the name of my Spotify and Apple playlist. They're my name, Michael Rapaport. You can add to it. Don't take anything out. Add to it if you want. Don't put any whack shit on there. But we're posting these links with this podcast on all forums. But that's my top 20 of 2018 so far. I love hip-hop this year. Hip-hop is not dead. Hip-hop is fighting. Hip-hop is alive. There's a lot of dope hip-hop. I'm sure I forgot a bunch of songs. I'm actually on another record. I have the honor and privilege. It was literally a where and when situation. Ghostface Killah just dropped the Lost Tapes, the Lost Ghost Tapes. I didn't get a chance to hear it yet, but I heard some of the beats. I do the intro and the outro on the brand new Ghostface Killah Lost Tapes record that's out today, October 5th. I can't wait to hear it, but yours truly, me, the Gringo Man Dingo, the Jake LaMotta of podcasting, is talking through the record. I'm sort of, hyping up Ghost throughout it. I got to get Ghostface Killah on the fucking podcast. I got to get him on the podcast, not just to talk hip-hop. Ghost is a big sports head. He loves fucking basketball. And talking to Ghostface Killah about basketball is an experience because his voice is so distinct and the way he speaks and his slang and his language is just so bugged out. So obviously talking about hip-hop is going to be bugged out, but talking to him about basketball on the podcast will trip people out because I don't think many people have heard him talk sports, and he's definitely like a sports head. I Am Rapaport Podcast. We're heading into week 5 of the NFL. I want to give a shout out. Our guy's been on 2 podcasts, friend of the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, and just a good fucking dude. Julian Edelman made his return after his 4-week suspension. Took his pinch like a fucking man, just like they said in Goodfellas. Took his fucking pinch like a fucking man. You didn't hear any complaining. You didn't hear any protests. Whatever the fuck happened. Sat out his 4 games. Was dealing with that injury. He tore his ACL, I think, last year. Saw him a couple of times during the offseason. He was on the live show in Boston. Such a good dude. He came back last night. Looked fucking good versus the Colts. I've never been that excited to watch a Patriots game. I don't even refer to football games as Patriots games. I'll refer to it as the Giants game, and they'll be playing the Patriots, or a Steelers game, and they'll be playing the Patriots. But I actually was hyped up to watch just the Patriots play versus the sorry-ass Indianapolis Colts, to watch our guy Julian Edelman make his return. He looked fucking good. He brought the energy, brought the hype, was making catches and making plays, and I want to continue to see him kicking ass out there. It's going to be a big, big sports weekend because, of course, NFL Week 5, big games. I'm most excited about the Kansas City Chiefs taking on my new favorite player in the NFL, Jacksonville Jaguar, Jalen Ramsey. Talks so much shit. He's another person. We have to get on the fucking podcast. Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes and them are killing it. Jalen Ramsey could give a shit. Here's a little clip of Jalen Ramsey talking about Tyreek and taking on Kansas City. I love that this guy he just keeps it funky and talks greasy. Check this out.
I don't like how, whoever has made it a matchup, me against Tyreek. He's good for what he does for their team. He made All-Pro as a return specialist. Let's get that right. As a return specialist his rookie year. He went to 2 Pro Bowls as a return specialist. 2 years, I made All-Pro in my position as a corner. Went to the Pro Bowl as a corner. So it's not a wide receiver versus corner matchup.
This is what it's all about. See, this is why sports is so good, and it's one of the last places where if you're not doing it like a total lunatic, it's a true safe haven for shit talking. This wasn't like some people would say this was disrespectful. Those are Tyreek fans. But this is just going to make the matchup more hype. It's going to make more people watch the game. And this is what it's all about. There's so few places left where you could actually talk shit and not go to like politically correct police prison. But my prediction for this game is that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's my prediction. But I'm going to be watching it. Apparently, the NFL ratings are up. Monday Night Football had the highest ratings of the year. We've gotten past the weird hitting. People are complaining about the scoring and the defense being at a deficiency. Talked about it a lot on the podcast. Talked about it with Sap. But in general, the NFL is thriving. I love it. It's only week 5, and it's going to continue to get better. And Saturday fucking night, UFC 229. UFC 229. Conor McGregor versus fucking Khabib. I can't even say the guy's last name. Conor McGregor versus Khabib. It's the first time McGregor has fought in 2 fucking years. In UFC, obviously last year he fought versus Mayweather. I'm thinking about throwing a party. I've been on this fast for the last 5 days. It's been miserable. I'm going to be honest. The first 3.5 days were fine. And then the 4th day, the afternoon, I was very frustrated. And as the recording of this podcast, I am almost done. I'm actually fasting and podcasting. I don't know if any other podcast in the world can say that. During this podcast, I have not eaten real food, solid food, in 5 days. 5 fucking days. I've had soup. I have had olives out of a bag. I've had these disgusting protein bars, which are actually better if you put them in the refrigerator, because if you don't, they're like soggy, weird, oily protein bars. But I've done it. I haven't cheated once. And the reason why I'm the correlation of the McGregor-Khabib fight is because all I want to do is eat cheese and prosciutto and watch that fight. I really think Khabib is going to win. I think Conor McGregor is going to be kicking Khabib's ass in the first 3 rounds. That's my prediction. And then Khabib will get those fucking dick beaters on him and choke him out. That's my prediction. Khabib gets those dick beaters on him in the 4th round and chokes him out. It's going to be a great night, though. Our guy Derek Lewis, beast, the UFC beast, also a friend of the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. He's fighting some big lurch-looking, Drago-looking motherfucker. He's very skinny but tall. And there's other good fights. But I'm hyped for this McGregor-Khabib fight. I'm going to be watching it. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be betting on it. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm talking shit. This fucking guy was on Fox talking about he's the king of New York. Didn't we just put you on probation, you cocksucker, you? McGregor, we just put you on. You're not the king of New York. You're lucky you're on fucking Rikers Island talking about you're the king of New York. Everybody thinks it's funny except for me. I don't think it's fucking funny, asshole. But UFC 229, Saturday night, NFL, NBA is looming. I also am predicting that this is the biggest season in NBA history. The biggest season in NBA history. Nobody ever talks about or breaks down or shows highlights of preseason NBA. It's all over the internet. It's all over the sports shows. They're discussing the preseason of the NBA every single day, and we're a month away. We are literally a month away. Usually with the NBA, I have to warm up into it. Like the first month, like late October, November, it's like a warm up, then December, and then they say that the NBA really starts Christmas Day. Not this fucking season. Not this season. The way the NBA is right now with all the offseason and the Kawhi Leonard and the LeBron James and all the trades and the Tony Parker and the Fizdales to the Knicks and all the Carmelo and Paul George. NBA's biggest season. Mark my fucking words. Fans showing up to the game and just fan participation. The first games are 4 weeks away. But people are literally acting. I mean, they sold the Staples Center out for a preseason game. I think they broke a record for that. It's going to be a great fucking NBA season. We're going to have NBA. We're going to have football in a matter of weeks. This is like I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast heaven.
I Am Rapaport Podcast.
I mean, let's be honest, okay? Betting on sports makes the game a lot more fun and a lot more exciting to watch. I am here to give you my favorite football and basketball picks of the week at sportsbetcollective.com/Rapaport. That's sportsbetcollective.com/Rapaport. The first pick is free, okay? And there's a credible cast of sports media experts, professional sports bettors, and other retired athletes and sports-obsessed entertainers like yours truly. So whether you're a seasoned, sharp veteran or a total sports betting beginner, sportsbetcollective.com provides an affordable way to help you beat the odds no matter what the size of your bet is. Catch all of my picks, okay? All of my picks at sportsbetcollective.com/Rapaport. My lock game of the week. I locked and loaded. My lock game of the week is the Rams -7.5 in Seattle. Did you see Todd Gurley's game in Seattle last season? No Earl Thomas. Seattle is in disarray. Friend of the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, Jared Goff for MVP. I got the Rams -7.5 in Seattle. The Seahawks may get run out of the building. The Rams are a force to be reckoned with on both sides of the ball. Sign up to get all my picks, every single one of my picks, and so much more at sportsbetcollective.com/Rapaport. All my picks are on there right now. So, I also discussed this the other day on the primetime I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast with me and the young shooter, Dean Collins. But I did stand-up comedy all alone on the stage the other night at the Improv, the improvisation in Los Angeles, California. They call it in Hollywood, but I think it's in Los Angeles. It was in the small room. I had not done stand-up comedy since 1993. And let me tell you something. When you're up there all by yourself, okay, and there were some I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast fans, maybe two. They weren't hard-body Rapapackers, but they mentioned the podcast. But when you're up there all by your fucking self and people came out to laugh, that shit is nerve-wracking. But the dingo does as the dingo does. I did the damn thing. I was supposed to be up there for about 12, 15 minutes. I did about 22 fucking minutes. And once I thought I was out, they got me back in. I'm doing it again. Okay? I'm doing it again. I already have another set. That's what they call them. Another set booked. Whitney Cummings is the person who got me involved in this shit in the first place. But I love it. It's fun. It's challenging. It keeps you sharp. It keeps your mind sharp. I'm doing it again the 29th at the Comedy Store in Hollywood. I've never, ever performed at the Comedy Store in Hollywood. Whitney Cummings, who created the show, Two Broke Girls, and she's like a real deal stand-up comedian. She's like a touring comedian. You know who she is. She's cool as fuck. She's going to be performing. I'm sure a bunch of other people are going to be performing. But yours truly, the motherfucking Gringo Man Dingo, is dipping his toes. Okay, I'm not jumping in head first yet, but I'm dipping my toes back into stand-up comedy. That's how I got my start. That's how I got my fucking start. I started out doing stand-up comedy when I was 19. I wasn't that good. I was funny, but I wasn't that great of a stand-up comedian. It's a difference. So I didn't realize at the time there's a difference. You could be funny and talk shit, but like to get up there and do a bit and, you know, jokes inside the jokes, it's a different skill. So when I was young, I would talk shit, and if the crowd didn't laugh, I would just attack the crowd. What the fuck are you doing? Like just to start talking shit. It was like a fight or flight thing. You're not laughing? Fuck you. You're not laughing? Oh, how'd you get here? Talking about people's cars, talking about their outfits and all that stuff. But I'm taking it differently this time. I got some goals that I want to accomplish, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to be doing it again on the 29th at the Comedy Store. If any local Los Angeles, not a big deal. It's not an event. It's not a live podcast. 15 minutes I'll be doing. Okay, but if you're in town and you want to come through, I'll be there on the 29th. So I've been listening to this other podcast. It's called Dr. Death. And it's not for the squeamish. It's a true story. It's one of these docu podcasts. There's this doctor. His name is Dr. Fuck, what is his name? Dr. Dushan or Dung. I can't remember his name. But this is like a really hot podcast right now. And they go into this guy's life. And I mean, this is like, this is a true sick fuck. This guy is they should just call this one of the sickest fucks of all time podcast. Dr. Death. It's about this guy who, went to medical school, somehow, some way made it through medical school, as a back surgeon, as a back specialist, and obviously didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And this guy wound up mangling, crippling, and inevitably killing 2 patients. There was 33 people that he either ruined for life, killed, or just totally, or like, put them in wheelchairs. And it's not for the squeamish. Some of the shit is really disturbing. Like one of the episodes, gave me a stomachache listening to it because I was like, this is crazy. This is not anything that, not a spoiler. But one of the people that he wound up crippling is a really good friend of his. Anyway, long story short, I highly recommend this Dr. Death. They break it down. They go into all the cases, how it happened, how he slipped through the cracks, how he continued after he had already, hurt so many different people, was continuing to do back surgeries and do procedures. There's a lot of blue tape and bureaucratic bullshit that goes into the medical world. And this podcast, Dr. Death, really does a deep dive into it, and I recommend it. It ain't for the squeamish, and it's not like a shit-talking extravaganza. It's not like fun-loving podcast, but it's definitely interesting, scary as fuck. And I just finished that Dr. Death podcast. And since we're talking about Dr. Death and this guy being a sick fuck of the week, I think that's the perfect setup for the award-winning I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast, Sick Fuck of the Week segment. Miles, please cue the music. This award is earned, not given. It's called the Sick Fuck of the Week. This guy's really sick. Lock him up. How could you do it? Don't let him out. Damn. You fucked the dog? You what? You fucked the dog? Why would you fuck the dog? Why would you fuck your girlfriend's dog? What? Sick fuck. The Sick Fuck of the Week. It's earned. Earned. Not given. You did what? No. Yes. This is the Sick Fuck of the Week segment, the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast award-winning segment. This is for a certain person with a certain je ne sais quoi. This award is earned, not given. It is an award that is earned, not given. We try to find the sickest of the sick fucks out there and give them the love and attention they truly deserve. Be on a lookout for any sick fucks in your neighborhood. Okay? And I got to give a shout out again to the Sick Fuck of the Week Whisperer, my guy Mike Schaefer, for sending me a whole bunch of sick fucks. These were easy to do. They're all over the place. So jumping in head first, this Sick Fuck of the Week hails from Odessa, Texas. This is a Sick Fuck of the Week hailing from Odessa, Texas. This is a real, true piece of shit. This man's name is Johnny Lee Carter. He is a piece of shit. His child was crying. His child was upset, whining, as children do. And this sick fucking piece of shit glued his daughter, super glued his daughter's eyes and mouth shut. The cocksucker's been arrested. I don't see what kind of sentence you can give this guy other than stay in jail for the rest of your life. I don't understand. Like, we're going to follow this case. This kind of sick fuck of the week, you never get out of prison. How could you do that to your daughter, a little baby, like a toddler? Lock him up, never let him out. Johnny Lee Carter, who actually doesn't look like your atypical sick fuck of the week, but he is. This next sick fuck, hailing from Copenhagen, New York, which is somewhere upstate. This is a registered sex offender. This sick fuck didn't commit a sex crime against a human being now. He took his act on the road, and he did it with a dog. They arrested this sick fuck in Copenhagen, New York. Not a lot of details and information can be found about this sick fuck, whose name is Vincent Perisco. We can't figure out whether or not the dog was his own or was somebody else's. But this guy actually does look like a sick fuck. Look him up yourself. Vincent Perisco has been arrested. This is a sex offender, and now he is a dog fucker. I wonder, is it worse? I don't think fucking dogs is funny. I don't condone it. I don't support it at all from anybody. But is it worse to fuck your own dog or like just a stray dog or just a random dog? I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. But this guy, fortunately, from an anonymous tip, he has been arrested, and he's been arrested again. A sex offender. Now you're a dog fucking offender. This next sick fuck hails from Germany, Berlin. Police found the body of a 73-year-old woman's husband in her home. The husband died 2 years ago. 2 fucking years ago. And this sick fuck kept the body of her deceased husband in the basement, wrapped up in cloth and paper for 2 years. Now, what do you do with a 73-year-old sick fuck? A 73-year-old woman who did this obviously has to be out of her fucking tree. She was arrested. They're saying it's all tragic. I say she's just a sick fuck. Let's call it what it is. We don't have to give her a fancy syllable, adverb, or noun. She's a sick fuck. Okay? It's not tragic. She's a sick fuck. Lock her up. This next sick fuck, I got a bunch of requests for this one. Bunch of requests for this guy to be put on blast. This guy's name is Helmuth Kolb. That's his name, Helmuth. I never heard that name before. Helmuth Kolb, Orlando, Florida, Port Orange County. This 81-year-old sick fuck sat down on a bench next to a mother of an 8-year-old inside a Walmart. He soon began grabbing the young girl's arm and kissed her wrist. I don't care how old you are. Senile, dementia, 81, it doesn't make a difference. You touch an 8-year-old girl, you should get kicked in the side of the fucking head. Then this cocksucker offered the mother of the 8-year-old girl $800 to buy the 8-year-old girl. Lock this piece of shit up. He's 81. He's got nothing to live for. He's a sick animal. They arrested this guy inside the Walmart. This happened last week. Again, what do you do with an 81-year-old sick fuck? I have no idea. I have no idea. But I do know he should not be free, should not be walking the streets. If he's going to do this in plain sight, in broad daylight, God only knows what he can do when no one's looking. Lock him up. Yet again in the friendly skies that are not friendly. Yet again on a weird flight that's not cross-country. As we've said over and over and over and over and over, from Phoenix to Boston on an American Airlines flight, my favorite airline to fly, Phoenix to Boston. A flight was diverted, had to land in Kansas City due to an unruly passenger who stood up in the middle of the flight and started doing push-ups and started doing pull-ups on the overhead bin. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? He started doing pull-ups. You know where you check your bags? This fucker wanted to get a little workout in. Started doing pull-ups on there. They asked him once, they asked him twice, 3 times. Now we're landing the fucking plane. Now you're under arrest, asshole. Now you're under arrest. You're lucky nobody didn't fucking tackle your ass, duct tape you into the bathroom and leave you there. Here's an update on one of the world's most infamous sick fucks of all time. Suge Knight was officially sentenced to 28 years in prison. It's official. Suge Knight is in jail for 28 years. He was facing life. He's in jail. Again, this is one of the world's most famous sick fucks. So much dirt, so much crazy shit that he's been involved with. After Suge Knight was sentenced, his son, Suge Knight's son, came out on some interview saying that Tupac, he knows very well that Tupac is alive and well in Malaysia. Well, the sick fuck doesn't fall too far from the tree. Tupac is not alive. Okay? He's not in Malaysia. He's not alive. I don't know why people want to believe this shit. I remember when I was a kid, you'd hear things like Jimi Hendrix is alive, or, you know, this one and that one is really alive, or Elvis is really alive. These people are gone. And you got to be a sick fuck to sort of perpetuate these ideas and dreams that they're not dead. He's gone. We all want him to be around. It's very sad, But you're a sick fuck if you think that Tupac is alive and well in Malaysia. We're really spanning the United States. A 34-year-old mother was arrested in Ohio for allowing her 10-year-old son to get a tattoo. And not only did she let her 10-year-old son get a tattoo, he was getting it with a dirty tattoo needle. She said she let him get the tattoo because she was tired of him begging for one every single day. So she let her son get a tattoo, and the dumb fuck posted pictures on social media. Now you got arrested. Okay? Now you're arrested, and now you've been branded as a sick fuck by the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Congratulations, crazy lady. And finally, this is not a sick fuck, but it's an update on our guy with the bionic dick. The man given the $50,000 bionic penis who just lost his virginity. We reported it and we celebrated it right here on the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. Well, since he had sex the first time, this is true. Unfortunately, the man collapsed in his home and spent 5 days unconscious in the hospital. This was just a week. This was just a week after he lost his virginity using his bionic dick. He was unconscious, having problems with his gallbladder because of the surgery. Right now, his body and his health has been stabilized. Hopefully, this young man will be back to normal. He's been through a lot. He lost his penis, then got a bionic penis, then used his bionic penis, then went unconscious for 5 days. I don't know. This guy's got a lot of health problems, but we're rooting for you here at the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. What more can I say? What more can I say? Listen, as I told you, all weekend long, I'm talking shit. I can't wait for Khabib McGregor. You know Conor McGregor Sr. and young Liam McGregor are going to be talking shit on my social media platforms. If you don't follow me, you should follow me at Michael Rapaport Everything. Moody will be back next week. We'll have guests and all that. Right now, I would really like Miles and Jordan to take us out of here with something nice, something real proper. Take us out of here with something real funky. It is the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I'm done.